If you're here, it means something inside you is restless. Maybe you've heard of Socrates, the ancient philosopher with the sharp questions and the insatiable curiosity. But what if I told you there's a quiet song Socrates sang? A melody he rarely let echo through the corridors of history? A song no one talks about, but one that holds the key to the ultimate philosophy, not just as doctrine, but as a living, breathing practice. I want to tell you what to do. I'll help you see what is already humming beneath your doubts and questions. SFX, soft_breeze. 3 Socrates, as we know him, wasn't he a man who claimed answers? He was the embodiment of wondering. His philosophy isn't a closed book. It's a conversation, a dance with yourself, where every step invites another question. Now, here's the irony. Most people think philosophy is about finding the ultimate truth, the final answer. But Socrates, that relentless seeker, teaches us something almost opposite. He lived famously by saying, "I know that I know nothing." It stings to hear this, doesn't it? Because as much as you desire certainty, the deepest wisdom might be wrapped in embracing not knowing. So what if your discomfort, your inner chaos, isn't a problem to fix but the echo of this ancient song? The song of embracing your ignorance, not as failure, but as the fertile ground where true knowledge grows. SFX, water_droplet. To imagine Socrates sitting with you, not lecturing but gently nudging. Tell me, what do you truly know about who you are? And what might you be refusing to admit? He wasn't clever to undermine others. He was tender in his confrontation, inviting us to a deeper honesty with ourselves. Ask yourself, when you cling to certainty, what parts of you are you refusing to explore? What ideas, emotions, or contradictions hide in the shadow? This is the meutic art Socrates practiced, midwifery of the soul, helping ideas be born by, birthing questions rather than answers. The ironic twist is that in your attempts to secure your identity, you might be trapping yourself inside a story that no longer fits you. You're not stuck because you lack a path. You're stuck because you don't trust the mystery of your becoming. SFX, gentle_rain. For let us take this further. What if the ultimate philosophy isn't some monumental text or secret wisdom, but this very song of non-attachment? Socrates doesn't offer you a fortress of beliefs, but the freedom that comes from knowing that every answer is temporary and every certainty is a viewpoint. Think about the emotional tension in your life, the parts where you feel fragmented or torn. Maybe there's not a puzzle to solve, but a paradox to live with. Your psyche is not a problem to fix, but a dynamic organism moving through questions, doubts, and revelations. What does your soul ask when it no longer fears not knowing? When it allows itself to wander in the open fields of uncertainty without rushing to an answer? This openness is Socrates' gift, a radical vulnerability that challenges you to dance with yourself. SFX, wind_chimes. 3 now. Here's a tip rarely spoken. The song Socrates sang is not meant to be solitary. Philosophy, in its purest form, is communal, a shared breathing space where voices intertwine. When you hesitate to voice your questions for fear of judgment, you quiet the song. But when you step into dialogue, even with your own silent parts, the song deepens, unfolds, and resonates. Could the ultimate philosophy be the courage to keep asking with no final destination? To live in perpetual questioning as a form of love for yourself and the world? The truth is, this song no one talks about is unsettling because it asks you to surrender the illusion of control. But surrender here does not mean giving up. It means opening up. Opening to the unknown reveals not chaos, but the raw material of growth and transformation. SFX, heartbeat_slow. 3 Look at this through the lens of psychology. Carl Jung spoke of individuation, the journey of becoming your unique self. The path isn't linear or fixed. It's a complex melody woven with light and shadow. Socrates' song invites you to befriend that shadow, to meet your contradictions without haste or fear. What parts of yourself are you still reluctant to meet? What judged or fragmented piece wants to be embraced into your story? When you notice these questions bubbling up, you're tuning into the ancient rhythm of wisdom. That wisdom doesn't eradicate pain or doubt, but travels with them as companions. SFX, fire_crackle_soft. 3. So how do you sing this song? Start with small moments of radical honesty. Notice when you resist uncertainty or try to don a mask of certainty for the world as comfort. Then pause and ask, what if the answer I desperately want isn't as important as the question I'm afraid to ask? You're invited to a dance with the unknown, a sacred choreography of curiosity and courage. You don't have to arrive somewhere specific. The movement itself is the philosophy. In the end, the song Socrates sang is a gentle rebellion against the noise of quick-fix answers. It's a whisper that says, stay with your questions. Let them open doors inside you. And maybe, in that staying, something new will begin a glimmer of light breaking through the habitual shadows of certainty. SFX, morning_birds. For the ultimate philosophy is not a conclusion. It's a song you carry in your bones, a tender melody challenging you to live as the question itself, alive and unfolding. So what song are you singing in your silence? What questions are you willing to hold without answers today? Perhaps the greatest courage you'll ever know is the courage to trust the unknown within you too. Keep playing the song no one talks about. And when you do, you'll find that the melody was there all along. Let us linger here a moment longer. Because this song, the one Socrates quietly carried, is more than an intellectual exercise. It's a practice, a daily attunement. You see, Socrates taught us to live within a question, to cradle doubt as if it were a fragile crystal. The common mistake, the one that trips us over and over, is assuming knowledge must be complete to be valuable. But Socrates whispers otherwise. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. How paradoxical, how unsettling. But what if this isn't a defeat, but the greatest victory? SFX, gentle_forest_ambience. For this question invites you to pause and recognize the tall walls we build around our self-understanding. Have you noticed your thoughts circling like caged birds, desperately searching for certainty? What happens if you slowly unclench your grip, the iron grip, on all your beliefs, identities, and truths? Could it be that the space left open by unknowing is not emptiness, but possibility? The fertile space where new insights take root and where you might meet yourself anew? Restoring this openness is not about intellectual abandonment. It's about becoming a vigilant guardian of your inner freedom. You don't need to surrender your mind. You simply invite it to dance with uncertainty rather than dominate it. SFX, soft_heartbeat. 3. Imagine the way Socrates worked not as a pontiff decreeing answers, but as a gardener tending the soil of conversation. Each question carefully placed, each silence stretching long enough for the seed of insight to take hold. What if your inner dialogue could become this kind of garden, where every doubt is a seed, every question a drop of water nurturing your growth? Pause a second and look inward. What is the last question your soul genuinely asked that you avoided answering? What does silence around your own questions feel like? Heavy? Frightening? Or maybe strangely comforting? SFX, wind_leaves. For Socrates' song is subtle and often misunderstood because it challenges the status quo, both outwardly and inwardly. In a world obsessed with quick answers, definitive labels, and instant clarity, Socrates calls you to slow down, to listen deeply, not just for knowledge, but for transformation. Here is a tip that follows naturally from this realization. Begin to notice the difference between resting in uncertainty and being paralyzed by it. The former is an active, even joyful, contemplative state. The latter is a trap of fear and avoidance. How can you differentiate these two? When resting in uncertainty, your curiosity still breathes. Their essay soft hunger for understanding, not rigidity. When paralyzed by uncertainty, your mind stiffens, your heart contracts, and you reach desperately for someone or something to tell you what to think. SFX, river under softly. 3 between these poles lies an invitation to cultivate intellectual humility. This is not defeatism or cynicism. It's a brave, tender stance that acknowledges the limits of your current understanding while holding open the possibility of infinite growth. This humility is the pulse of Socratic philosophy. It keeps the song alive in you. Without humility, you risk mistaking certainty for truth and conviction for wisdom. Now, let's take a moment to explore what this looks like emotionally. So often, we equate confidence with knowing it all. But true confidence, the one that withstands storms, is born from dancing with doubt, not ignoring it. What if you began to see your doubts, not as enemies, but as messengers, not as signs of weakness, but as invitations to deeper exploration? SFX, light_chimes. For this leads us into perhaps the quietest yet most profound chord of the song no one talks about. It's the relationship between the self and the unknown. Because ultimately, the Socratic song is about you, the way your selfhood shapes and is shaped by the mystery you carry inside. In your quiet moments, have you noticed the ungraspable parts of yourself? The elusive feeling that you are more than a fixed identity, that you're always in the process of becoming? Socrates would smile at this awareness. He'd ask, is your self a static castle or a river flowing endlessly towards something new? This question is both scientific and poetic. It asks you to consider your life as an unfolding story without a predetermined endpoint. SFX, soft_river_stream. 4, and here S another tip gently offered. Allow your sense of self to be less of a fortress and more of a fluid symphony. Your identity is not a problem to solve or a fixed state to achieve. It is an open question, a melody vibrating with possibility. This does not mean chaos. It means embracing paradox, the simultaneous holding of stability and change. Your identity, like Socrates' song, lives in the tension between the known and unknown. Pronouncing the self as fixed might feel like security, but what it does quietly is freeze you in moments past. Instead, try to live with the vibrant tension of becoming. Like a river, you shape the landscape even as it shapes you. SFX, deep_breathing. 3 now. How does this philosophy translate into your daily life? The song whispers for you to find small moments to practice Socratic questioning, not in harsh interrogation, but in gentle curiosity. What am I truly feeling beneath this frustration? What story am I telling myself right now? What might I be afraid to face? Remember, Socrates' method was never about winning arguments, but about deepening understanding. So let these questions be your companions, not your judges. When the urge arises to clutch certainty tightly, pause and ask, what would happen if I let this question be open a little longer? SFX, soft_scorpion notes. 5 inches those spaces. You might find something unexpected, a softness, a strength, a space where the song breathes freely, no longer muffled by overwhelm or defense. But beware the temptation to treat this philosophy as mere intellectual play. The song Socrates sang is lived practice. It demands courage to sit with discomfort and the patience to wait in silence for insight to emerge. This journey is not linear. It twists and folds back on itself. Some days the questions will feel like an invitation, other days like an unbearable weight. SFX, slow_wind_blowing. 3, when that weight presses in, remember, you're in good company. Socrates himself faced exile and death for his dedication to this very practice. His courage was not in having all the answers, but in living visibly as a seeker. In your life, the quiet song you hear might feel fragile, but in its vulnerability lies immense power. SFX, fireplace_crackle. 3. A final tip for those moments when you are overwhelmed by the tension. Between what you know and don't know, come back to the breath. Slow it down. Feel it. Know that in breathing, you are sustaining the dance of your questions. The ultimate philosophy is not a destination. It is the breathing itself. A song that echoes through centuries, inviting you to live awake, aware, and endlessly curious. So, I ask you gently now, what question will you carry with you today? What song no one talks about are you willing to learn? SFX, bell_soft. 3. And in carrying that song, how will your life begin to unfurl? Because the most profound wisdom is not in answers, but in the courage to keep singing the question. SFX, forest_night_ambience, for this song is yours. Your unique melody in the grand symphony of becoming. Keep listening, keep asking, keep living the question. You're not alone. And that is the ultimate philosophy of Socrates, the song no one talks about, but every wandering soul must hear. SFX,